Lawrence Krauss, you were quoted as saying you want to intelligently design our society, our ethics and our morality, so that we live in the kind of society we want to live in, rather than in the kind of society that was laid down in the Bible. So if we get rid of God and make ourselves the God instead through our progress in technology and science, we should be a far better race of people. But in actual fact, we now have the ability to destroy ourselves through science. Einstein once wrote that science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind. They need and complement each other. How do you respond to that?
Well, the first thing I want to say is the quote you gave was not mine. It was my friend Richard Dawkins. But I think when we establish laws and government, we try and intelligently design society. We try. Laws and government in Australia, as well as in my country, no matter what people say, are based on secular principles, okay? They're based on trying to organize people in a way to produce the maximum happiness, maximum comfort, etc. Now, I think that you're absolutely right that the products of science, the technology of science, can be used in many different ways. But the point is that what we need to do is, if we're going to address the main problems of the 21st century, including the danger of nuclear weapons, we have to be honest about them. We have to be honest about things like the fact that the global warming is happening, and we have to deal with it, instead of just deciding in advance what the problem is. So what we have to do is say, let's make our policies be based on empirical evidence. Wouldn't that be amazing if we made our public policy and government based on reality,
Lawrence,
instead of ideology?
Lawrence, I'm sorry to interrupt, but can I just bring you to the latter part of the question? Because Albert Einstein's not here on the panel, but Albert Einstein is the iconic genius. He clung to his belief.
He wasn't really, I didn't get to know him very well because he was dead before I was born, but he's been misused, his quotes have been misused completely. He derided a personal God more than anyone else. When he talked about religion, he talked about order in the universe, the God of Spinoza, whatever you want to talk about. He made it quite clear, as many people do, that their religious beliefs, because no matter what you say, science is certainly compatible with some vague notion of a purpose to the universe. We can't ever disprove that there's some purpose in the universe. There's just no evidence for one. But it is incompatible with the detailed doctrines of the world's major religions. And Einstein argued that as strongly as anyone else.
Okay, Gene Robson, I mean, the quote still remains, if religion without science is blind, I think it was. That was a quote from Einstein, according to our questioner. What do you say?
Well, I like the quotation in the sense that it ties the two together. And I think either one by themselves can be distorted and incomplete. So for me, putting the two together is really important. Where I find science a kind of shortcoming is that science can describe what is and how it works, but there is much that is unprovable that is also important to me. So a scientist can tell me what makes a sunset colorful, how it works, how the curvature of the Earth affects it, but it doesn't tell me about beauty. It doesn't tell me about watching that sunset and being inspired by it. So I would say that the two together are very much important. I couldn't agree more with Lawrence about basing our policies and our public stances and so on the actual facts. And one of the things in America right now that just makes me crazy is that no one seems to think that the facts matter. Yeah. And we are getting into terrible trouble because